Mr. Rob Minchin, how you feeling?
Good.
Putting you on the spot, bro. We talked just before we got going. Excitement, nervousness. I'm intrigued, bro. Childhood friend. We kind of distanced for many years, bro. And then I don't know what it was, man. We connected again recently enough. Do you know how we done it?
The gym.
Was it the gym? It was gym up in Drogheda.
Yeah.
What's the name of that gym?
Snap Fitness.
Snap Fitness.
Yeah.
What a brilliant gym.
Class gym. I love
Brilliant
it.
gym.
Second home.
And it's crazy, man. I was like, fuck. I knew. Did I know what you had gone through? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. I was gonna
Sure, we didn't even have each other on social media anymore.
up until recently. I think it was.
I think you made a new one for
Yeah.
what you're doing now.
Yeah.
It was, shout out to him,
Yeah.
Sam Cassidy,
Yeah.
an childhood friend.
Yeah.
He was talking to him. He said, "Do you know who's doing really well at the minute? James Hempton." I was saying, "No way." So I went home, followed you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, I hadn't got a follow back. I remember
Yeah.
I dropped you a DM.
That's
then.
right.
Yeah.
I must have missed it, bro. Must
Yeah.
have missed it because obviously I wouldn't be ignoring someone like yourself, bro.
Too right.
Too right.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. Like childhood friends are special, bro. Because I think it's just like your first kind of real best friend. You're always together.
We were like that.
We were, man. Very special
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
And then obviously, like I said, you go in secondary school.
But we still stayed in touch for a lot of secondary school.
Did we? Yeah.
Up until about fourth year, I'd say.
Okay. And then drifted a small bit,
Yeah.
which is a natural thing to happen.
But look, walked in the room today.
Yeah.
Straight, it's like
we never left, bro.
never left.
I feel like you can't really lose them connections. I feel
No.
like if they're there from a young age, they're almost for life.
Mm.
There's something really special about that. Childhood best friend. But anyway, bro, we're here to talk about, one thing and probably many things in particular today. You've gone through one hell of a time, bro. And you came out
say that, all right.
you came out the
Yeah.
other side of it, man. And obviously what this conversation will be based around is addiction. And, your own personal experience of what happened, like you mentioned to me and what I've heard from another podcast you've done. Cocaine addiction, alcohol addiction, benzo addiction, weed addiction. You've been through the ringer, bro. And now obviously you're 2 years clean. How did it all start for you, bro? How did it all start? How did you become addicted? I think because you were telling me just there before we got going, like coke was, or cocaine should I say, was the main drug of choice. How did it begin for you? How did you go down the path of addiction?
I'd say this quite a lot, James.
Yeah.
I actually think I don't think, I know it. My addiction started well before I even picked up a drink or a drug or especially cocaine, like, because never ever really felt good enough for myself. Very doubtful. On the surface, it was great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I always wanted more. Not so much like now. I'm trying to better myself as a person. But back then, maybe because I was a young lad, I think social media didn't help. But even growing up as a kid, I always had like low confidence. Never believed I could do anything. I don't know where that came from, by the way.
Yeah.
Because my mother would always been very supportive of me in football and things like that. But even playing football, never. I think I could have done a bit better there, but it was just
Upstairs
wasn't right my whole life. You know what I mean? And that became evident as I started getting older, especially when I was 17, 18. Remember one day, I actually never shared this before. I've only thought about it recently. Done deal. I was on there just having a nosy, seeing, because the lads around me were starting to get nice cars and all. Saying, geez, if I had that, I'd look deadly. I'd look like the dog's bollocks. You know what I mean? So, basically what I'm saying, I always wanted materialistic things to make me look great.
Yeah.
Either the trophy girlfriend, the expensive clothes. It started with cars, women, instant gratification, validation, all that. So that's where it started. Like, no wonder going out to nightclubs and pubs, and it would have been a common trend for me to get quite, say, fancy about it, intoxicated or pissed drunk.
Yeah. And
that's because going out to a nightclub, never shared this either, I would have been literally having a panic attack.
Before going out?
Before going out. Before I had to have a hell of a lot of drinks, and remember, pre-drinks.
Pre-drinks, yeah.
Have to get locked, like, just to have the confidence to go out.
That's incredible, man. So you feel the addiction started before you even touched any drug or got associated with alcohol, that it was down to a lack of self-belief or confidence? Confidence. More
Both,
so
I'd say confidence really to get through everyday life, like to never believed I was good enough to do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, didn't, like, always believed, like, how could I put it, if I was the one talking, or why would, like, who'd listen, or why would anyone want to hang around with me, or, but once I had, well, if I have this and that, searching for outside things to make myself look better, feel better, without having to put in the work.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what was wrong with me. I hadn't a clue what was wrong with me. I thought this was normal.
And did you ever speak about it with anyone?
No.
Even close friends?
No.
Did you not have the insight maybe just to say how you were feeling, or that just it never came to mind?
I never thought it was a problem.
No,
because I was so used to feeling that way.
And would it make you feel down, like not having confidence or not having self-belief in yourself? Would it make you feel, or did you, like, was it maybe just a complete lack of awareness that you didn't even realize?
Lack of awareness, bud.
Yeah.
I used to put every person on a pedestal.
Yeah.
They're better than me. They're better than me. So why would I go for that job? Say when I was in the airport, why would I go for that job if sure he's better? He'll be better at me than that. That's a toxic mindset to be in.
That's
how
crazy.
can you ever? But at least if I have a BMW, I'm better than him I look better.
Yeah.
I have this lovely girlfriend.
So it was like
I look better.
An internal competition with yourself to try and validate yourself through material possessions. To fill a void that just was
feeling
unfillable.
Emptiness. Yeah.
Emptiness. Yeah.
And you know yourself, anyone listening knows this. Get a pair of runners, or you get a new car. Fades very quick. It's only a pair of runners. It's only a car. Who gives a shit? Like,
yeah. And just staying on this topic at the moment, because I do find it quite interesting. That you would put people on a pedestal.
All the time.
You had this void that you thought that material possessions would fill it up and make you feel like the man.
I like that.
Yeah.
Make me feel like the man.
Make you feel like the man. What has helped you now? Because you walk in here today, see a guy with a great your physique, you're building yourself. I know obviously you're working on yourself constantly, you're progressing yourself in other areas which we'll touch on in a moment. What has helped you fill that gap? Because I can only imagine there may be someone out here right now, Rob, that's listening to this, that is going through the exact same thing in the moment that you went through many years ago and overcame. But what's helped you fill that gap of this kind of, to help build your confidence, have self-belief, and progress your life forward while feeling? I suppose you would say now, because you walked in here very confidently today, that the chest was out, the shoulders are back, the neck was nice and high. You're beginning to feel like that man that you want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But what's helped you is the question I'm trying to ask.
You actually you actually helped me answer that. You said, be the man you want to be. I know exactly who I want to be now. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly where I want to go. Back then I was lost. Lost.
Yeah.
Absolutely lost.
No sense of direction.
No sense of direction. I just wanted to have money and nice things.
Yeah.
But how's that going to make you happy?
Do you feel then you maybe had possibly a lack of guidance? Because, many young guys, they grow up, and I have too, bro, not having maybe the right role models in life, or maybe not even having any role models, like male role models to kind of guide you in a certain way. That can often lead to young guys feeling lost because they've no sense of direction, they've no initiation how to become a man or what a man is. This is a crazy question to ask in this modern day age. Well, sorry, should I say
it's a huge problem, by the way.
It's a huge problem. Men do no longer know how to be men, but also
they're told not to as well. In a way.
Yeah, exactly. Great point.
Yeah.
But saying that, it's like they've no guidance, especially from a young age where you're kind of 18 to 21, 22. There's no one kind of guiding you forth in life. Where I think is so important to have a male role model that's like the man that you want to become. Was that the case for you, where maybe you didn't have, or maybe you did, I don't know, that's why I'm asking, but did you have a role model to kind of guide you forward, or was that missing?
That was definitely missed, sure. My mum raised me.
Yeah.
Just me and my ma. And my ma did a great job. Yeah. But it was just the way I was feeling. I know, say, male fit. I made me like have some great uncles and things like that, but it's not that father fit. You don't have a father, like there's no one in the house all the time.
Yeah, that masculine energy.
Yeah, I think growing up I would have been quite timid, and then as I started to get older I'd hide that with anger then. You know what I mean? And that would really get brought out when I drank. Because it's hard being scared all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, and just as you touched on that, so would you get angry when you drink? Yeah,
At times.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that anger, frustration that, you're trying to, have more confidence in the world but can't, or you're not finding a way to, construct that
Or do you know what? Put it out. Like, I never really got into any fights or anything, but kind of almost wanting to show people I am masculine. Like,
yeah.
Anyone that gets in a fight on the street or anything nowadays, like, say I would have done a lot of, say, boxing and things like that, and I'm in the gym. I don't, like, now, it wouldn't even occur to me to start on someone, or someone started on me, I'd walk away. Where you see it you'll see it tonight in Dublin, Drogheda, Swords tonight, anywhere, all over the world, people, men especially, fighting because they want to prove a point. I'm
the masculine macho guy.
And I don't even think it's trying to prove it to the person he's fighting. It's trying to prove it to everyone around him.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me. But that's fear as well.
Yeah.
That's huge fear, because I've been there.
That's a great point, man. And I think men naturally are the aggressors in life. We drive things forward, we build, we move things forward in life. We've got a natural aggression that we can channel into a project or whatever it might be to, create something in this world. But I feel like when you don't channel that aggressive energy into the gym or into boxing, you have this overload, this cascade of spare energy, which kind of spills out in other forms into that kind of, macho bravado, trying to prove that you're the man when, you're doing it in a way that people can see its weakness because it comes from a place of fear.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to break. We will talk about boxing because obviously you're something you've done in the past and it's helped you. But it's like channeling into boxing, makes a massive difference, because then it's like that aggression's now gone because you've used it. It's controlled it. You've controlled it, but you also used it up. Where if you keep it bottled up, man, that just can't be healthy at all.
Yeah, and it's not.
It's not at all.
Because that's why you see so many lads trying to prove a point out in the street. That's a dangerous place to be at.
Definitely is. It definitely is. I want to get onto the addiction because that's fascinating. I actually didn't know that insight where it came from a lack of self-confidence and self-belief. Talk me through the addiction process and how that came to be, and when did you actually realise you were becoming addicted to cocaine?
I realised I became addicted to cocaine kind of really towards the end.
Oh, really?
I was in complete denial, like.
Okay.
Complete denial. Because you get to a point where you're like, because towards the end, or I'll start from where I started.
Start from the beginning,
yeah. So, I remember the first night I took it. I remember that first high. All my answers were in that white line. Everything. You got confidence. The anxiety was gone. Just feeling, amazing.
And did it last long?
Well, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
But when you first start taking,
okay,
it does.
It lasts a night or like?
No, 20 minutes and you take.
Okay.
That's why it's so expensive. Like,
okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then your tolerance is low, so you don't need as much. So, this might sound mad, but in that first night, I was like, is this how bad my anxiety was, man? Hiding this anxiety. I would struggle to even say I had a problem with in the bank, or I'd struggle to go down there to go in and sort problems. That anxiety of even going to uncomfortable places, like, or making a phone call. I think a lot of people struggle with phone calls, to be honest, but anything like that. I was thinking, I am going to be the most confident, outgoing person there is now. I can just take this whenever I have to go anywhere. Isn't that nuts, like, when you think about it? When I think about it anyway, because of where I'm at now. But I was thinking Christmas Day, I'm going to be like one of the best people at the family dinner.
And is this all relying upon the drug? So you thought the drug could help me overcome all these
obstacles, yeah. So I kept taking it,
And how did it start off? So did it happen one weekend, or did it happen every day consecutively?
It started. So say I done it, and then I did, and then I had that mindset. But then I didn't do it again for months.
Okay.
And then I do it again. Started off as everyone does, a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was just like, because I would have done it when I drank, and then I would have started taking it then. Say, I had a rule at the beginning. Rules and addiction are quickly broken, but that if I'm in work tomorrow, I won't take it.
Okay.
I'm in work, I'll avoid taking it tomorrow. So say I was off on the Saturday, Thursday, I'd start taking it from the minute I woke up. And that happened in the space of. So I would have started taking mildly in probably around 2017.
Yeah.
But by early 2019, so I would go a couple of months without taking it. But then 2019, I just got into my head. I said, I'll buy it in bulk, like spend a lot of money here, give it out to people, knocking down and did. But my addiction was telling me this, and make me money, but like try start like dealing it in a way to fund this shit, like, and that was down to confidence as well. Of how would people would fear me if they seen me? They'd respect me if they seen I was at this. Does that make sense? Because you ever see the way, and there's like an aura around people involved in drugs. Like, I was thinking I could have that.
And is that from a sense of kind of like an inflated ego sort? Yeah. Where
I don't. Once I'm involved with having coke,
because coke's the prize. You're dishing out to people.
I'd be the main man at parties. I'd have a few bob. People would want to be around me. I'd be like a rock star.
Yeah.
That's one way of wording it. Because when you have that, everyone wants to be around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're giving out something that everyone wants.
Everyone wants in the pub, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're high, and I never had that in my life. I always did. Felt like I was gone unnoticed.
Yeah.
Felt like I didn't exist in a way. How can I make myself exist?
And this was just giving you validation.
Validation.
Because people wanted what you had, which was the substance, which was
I thought, I'll have this. I could get probably some nice stuff out of this. I could fucking, women will want to be with me.
Yeah.
I have more friends. I'll be the man at parties or in the pub or whatever. That's looking back. And there's people that are going through that right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to share this message.
So that's really interesting, man, because I actually didn't know that. I know obviously on a previous podcast. So the addiction was the addiction of, obviously it was a coke, don't get me wrong, because obviously, you became dependent on it at one stage. But the addiction was the validation that you were getting from having the coke, that people would admire and respect you. Because I have to say, as a man and all men out there in the world, all we want is respect and, someone to admire us for what we do. And you were getting that through having the coke. Is that how you viewed it? Is that the kind of story you were telling yourself?
Yeah, 100%.
And then from a psychological or even physiological addiction, when did you notice you were becoming addicted to the cocaine? Like, were you going, like, was it?
I didn't notice. That was the thing.
Okay.
I was just getting,
like, you're doing every day.
When I first got when I say bulk, I wasn't had a lot, like, but enough to be a criminal. Like, if you're caught with it, you'd be in trouble. Like,
okay.
You know what I mean? But yeah, just I would have started. That rule was quickly broken, so I would start taking it more, like a lot by 2019. Start of 2019. By the end, like, say me birthday 2019, taking it morning, noon and night.
Morning, noon and night?
I won't.
Would you wake up in the morning and do it first thing?
It's too right.
Wow. And what were you getting out of that? Were you getting the high or the or the dopamine rush?
You're coming down. So say I've gone a week without sleep.
Yeah.
A week without eating. So imagine when you finally get to sleep, that anxiety when you wake up. Oh, what did I do? Oh, the money I've wasted, the money I've spent. What will help this? Used to keep it under my pillow for the minute I woke up. Could just take it straight away.
Wow.
And that'd be it. And then once you take it once, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
You have to keep going.
And would it make your anxiety worse?
Oh, after a couple of weeks of taking it, it wasn't giving me that nice feeling anymore.
It worn off.
The first hit is.
Yeah.
But then you're just chasing that for the rest of the night then. So you just keep going, and use. And
how many years did it go on for, Rob?
Up until 2022.
Wow. So
September 22.
3 years?
Oh, took me last line August 22. But then I went on to other things then to kind of keep me off it. In my head. That was working. Wasn't.
And when you took that last line, what were you saying to yourself? Like, what convinced you that this was going to be the last line?
So I'll get into that now. I didn't know it was going to be my last line, right? So at this point, so in 2021, I was in trouble with the law.
What happened?
House was raided 2021 or 2020, early 2022, I think. I can't really remember because I was so house was raided by cops.
Did they find anything?
Yeah. No, not that much.
Okay.
But I did. If I didn't sort myself out, I could have been in a lot of trouble. Like, you know what I mean? And I wrote off a car.
Drunk driving or
just out of my head, man. Tablets and taking tablets with coke and.
What happened there?
I don't know.
I
actually woke up and my mum told me.
Oh, were you in the hospital?
No, say, according to my mum, came back to the house, told her, wrote off the car.
Wow.
Went back to the car with my mum. Can't remember any of this. This is how bad it was. It's tablets, anyone that takes them knows that you just zoom out. You're gone. Can't remember. You could do something horrific, which I did by crashing the car. Wake up the next morning, you don't remember any of it. So that. And so after that, kept going. That didn't stop me. And then I went on to, what else did I do? Ended up owing a lot of money. Hell of a lot of money, man. And had to get loans out, things like that. Ended up being bet up outside the house twice.
Badly?
Yeah, to an extent. 5 lads jumping outside your house.
Yeah, any broken bones?
No, thank God. Looking back, I am blessed that they didn't do worse.
Didn't hit you hard enough.
Didn't hit me hard enough. Didn't wake me up quick enough. Yeah. But I remember that was in the beatings would have been around June, coming up to my birthday, 2022.
Okay.
Still didn't stop me. Like I cut down a lot after that, but then it was weird. It switched. Then I'd go back to any time I drank, I take it. I wasn't taking it every day anymore. I know I was saying I'm doing great here, but the turning point was I remember I was on it one night. I went home, gone to bed, 5 a.m, and on paper it was a successful night of using. Didn't know any money. It was a good night. I had a good time. I didn't get too fucked up, whatever. I went home, got into bed, sweating, staring at the ceiling, chest pumping, and looking out the window. Gorgeous day out. I just said, never doing this again.
Just that moment?
That moment. I said, and I haven't. Explain that to me. Why that was the
catalyst,
epiphany. Like, I'll get quite deep about this. Something I want to bring up as well. I've no shame in sharing this, but I don't share it often. But something people need to know where it goes. The cocaine is seen as like this completely glamorous, like, which I thought it was. You see it on TV and you think, if I get involved in that, I can make a lot of money here. People want to be around me. People respect me, etc. Say all these bullshit reasons. I joined for that reason. Not joined, but tried to get involved in that reason. I in no way should have had anything to do with drugs, because I'm not that kind of guy. Like, simple as. But there's a lot of lads that were lost like me that thought that could turn to. I wouldn't have been a criminal or anything. I never done anything horrific, but. So basically, I got involved for that reason. Not in a gang or anything, doing it on my own. You know what I mean? And but this is what I want to say about material things. I would have had a lovely car out outside of my driveway. One night, I'll never forget this night. I think I was 2 days on it, and it wasn't long after the birth of my child as well. Like. So it should have been the happiest time of my life. But sure, I was messing that up because I was in addiction, but couldn't admit it. Remember standing in my bathroom upstairs, sniffing coke in a Montclair t-shirt, Gucci flip-flops, a BMW in the driveway, trying to take my own life.
By doing coke?
No, I was self-harming a lot.
Okay.
And things like that, you know, and that night I just really wanted to die, like, because It was just that rough, like.
You were fed up.
Fed up with own money, fed up with. A lot of people were on to me, like family, trying, and I was like, would they ever just fuck off?
Yeah.
Just let me do this thing. I absolutely hate myself.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that makes me feel better. Get off my fucking back. But they want. So I would have fell out with a lot of people, including a very good friend of mine. Fell out with him because he said, I think you need help, and I told him to go fuck himself. You know what I mean? Because you're that. You can't understand why people are trying to tell you to stop this thing that you think is making you feel better about how shit you feel. You know yourself, and you feel shit. And I've done a lot of shitty things. Like, when... Like, I was being a shitty father. So or a shitty, say, co-parent. So I wasn't giving her any help. You know, I thought it was great because I'd see her twice a week or whatever, and that'd be it. But it was shit to her, shit to any girl I was in a relationship with. Just a shit guy. But that was, looking back, wasn't like the one thing we were asked in treatment. Would you do any of them things now, sober? Absolutely not. Because I hated myself, James. That's why when I gave up coke, it wasn't like a euphoric moment where I said, never doing this again, and life was great. I stopped taking coke, but I was taking tablets like Lyrica, Xanax, whatever I could get my hands on. I couldn't get out of bed. Said this shit off air.
Yeah.
Couldn't get out of bed without taking something to get me to function throughout the day. When I was up in court for charges, I was outside taking tablets, smoking weed to face the consequences for my actions of being involved in drugs, but thought I could fix it by taking drugs. But at least I wasn't taking cocaine. That's what I was telling myself.
Yeah. And did you, or now looking back, do you feel like that was progress to you becoming clean?
No.
It was just masquerading what was going on.
Masquerade, exactly. It was just covering the cracks. And I thought, if I didn't do treatment, I still would have thought that was okay behaviour. You know? Because it was because put it this way, at this point in my life, I hadn't seen my daughter in a couple of months because there was how could I put it? I wasn't a capable father. And that was the only good decision I'd made in my whole addiction, that I can't have this little person in my life when I'm this way. It's not fair. What if someone owes me money, she's here, and they call to the gaff?
This is what you start thinking.
And I think I made the right call to this day. Okay, it's heartbreaking not seeing, but it would have been more heartbreaking having her in my life at that point, because it's not fair. That's I wouldn't do that. And so I made that decision. So after this, all my savings, all these nice things I've always wanted, friends, family, the most important things, friends, family, and my daughter, lost. Fucking cars, clothes, everything, savings, my job, everything gone. And it was after that I stopped. I said, that's when I came off coke after that night. But all that was still gone, and it's a very scary road, thinking, what next? So how could I didn't want to live anymore, but I didn't want to die. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd take tablets and weed or whatever. I was drinking cough medicine, anything, first thing in the morning to get over that anxiety, because I could not I couldn't look in mirrors. I put on a lot of weight and hated everything about myself, James. I even dyed my hair, changed my dress, anything to make a new person, because I hated who I was. So I couldn't look in the mirror. I hated going outside sober, like without taking tablets or weed.
And was this all from a place of anxiety?
Anxiety, yeah, from coming off cocaine.
And you feel now, looking back, that was a root cause of why you became addicted to coke and all these benzodiazepines and alcohol and weed, was that you were so rattled. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm not trying to defend it. But
Yeah, of course.
I'm trying to say,
trauma, man.
Is that what you believe it to be then?
It's fucking trauma.
Yeah.
That's what it is. There's something not right ticking up here correctly. Yeah. Anyone that's out there that's listening now, if you're taking, say, I don't condemn anyone going out and drinking or even say recreational drug use,
Yeah.
drug use, I'm not going to tell anyone not to fucking. I'm not a preacher.
Yeah.
Do what you want. You're an adult. But if it's starting to affect your career, your family life, your owing money,
Your health.
you feel you can't go out without taking a drug or even a drink. You should feel okay about going out to the pub. I do it now.
Yeah.
I go out and watch the football with a good mate of mine on every so often. But once football's over, I can go home. I don't need a drink.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're doing that, something not right, and you might want to nip it in the bud before it get. I wouldn't want anyone to go through what I went through, and I'm in addiction service now, and I see what addiction does to people. I hate it. Like, I hate seeing, because I honestly think every single person on this planet has potential to be great. Don't waste it in addiction. Like, do not waste your life, because that's all it is. You know, I know people say, "Oh, you're young, you should be out partying," and to an extent, yeah, that's cool. But do you still want to be 31, 32 doing that?
No. Who does, man? Who does?
But a lot of people are caught up in that because they don't realise their full potential, in a sense.
And do you think then, for people that could be going through, you know, that may be addicted, that they need to, well, not even addicted, but they're using drugs recreationally and then it's feeding into their day-to-day living, that they need to address, it's something deeper down. Is that what you believe it to be? It's something deeper. It's something fundamentally not correct that you need to address. No, I don't want to say not correct, but something that you need to address.
Absolutely. No one uses drugs or drink to excess. You know what I mean?
That's a good point, because you think of a healthy person that's living, you know, a fulfilling life, that's looking after their health, that mentally they feel good about themselves. They don't want anything that's going to take away from them. But
like, look at us now.
Yeah. Great example. You wouldn't think twice, or you wouldn't. Obviously, you're clean 2 years, but like, you wouldn't think twice about going back there. Because it's a very interesting thing you said. Like, I was actually listening to, like I mentioned before, your previous podcast, and if there's a line of coke there now, or there was a, you know, fucking beer or joint, whatever it might be, you would think, what are the future consequences? If I take this now, how does it affect my kid? How does it affect my relationship with my mom? How does it affect my work? Because it's such. There's real weight behind decisions. There's weight in the cause and effect that they'll have at a later stage. And, you know, it'll have a massive knock-on effect. And I think that's a great perception, especially, obviously, you've gone through addiction, you've came out the other side, and now, obviously, the work that you're doing as well. You understand that there's consequences to every decision that's made. And some of them carry a heavy toll and a heavy consequence in the process of it. Absolutely,
bud. You hit the nail on the head there. And do you know what it is as well? I was only about 6 months sober, I think, when I done that podcast. You listened to it today. Did I mention how long I was then when I done that other one?
I'm not sure.
No, I don't think I did. But I think that was done over a year and a half ago, so I've only been about 6 months.
Yeah.
At that point, I reckon. All them things are still valid. But you know what's the best feeling in the world now? I won't eat, like, say, even a drink. I'm not telling anyone not to drink. I'm not accusing anyone of it. I just don't drink. I don't take drugs or anything. I just care too much about myself. In a way, I love myself. Not in the sense, I think I'm great or I'm gorgeous.
You're gorgeous, by the way.
Thanks, brother. How do the listeners feel about that one? But I love myself too much.
Yeah.
I care. I've been through too much to go back to that shit and come out the other side.
Because you're in a dark time, man. Like what you just listed off there, man. It's
heavy. I didn't mean. I wasn't even. I was kind of sorry if I was going, because
man, it's real. It's
a lot there I got into, even about trying to get involved in drugs.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to bring that up, but as I was talking, I said, fuck it. There's a lot of people out there that are probably thinking about or are in it that have no business being in it. You know?
So do you think through this process, you just mentioned kind of self-love there, have you found a way now, maybe through recovery, whatever it might be, you can touch on it now, but you found a way to love yourself once again that maybe was never there before?
Yeah, 100%. But now, don't get me wrong, I have me days where I don't feel good.
Everyone does, yeah.
I think a lot of people get into recovery or sobriety or whatever you want to call it and say, I'm going to feel amazing. This is it. 14 days, probably 2 of them I feel like shit. The other 12 I feel great. But still the self-doubt kicks off every so often, but I've learned how to silence it 98% of the time, whatever.
And how would you do that, Rob?
Just have to, like, say, imagine today I was actually very fatigued and I didn't go to the gym. Say, so I use the gym as an example.
Yeah.
I used to tell myself, lazy fucker, you're lazy. You're going back to old way. Now I tell myself, well, where's the evidence to back that up?
Yeah.
I go to the gym all the time. I work out a lot. I eat well. I've lost a shit ton of weight. Where's the evidence to say I'm lazy?
So your self-talk is improved.
A lot. Holy shit, yeah.
And what's helped you improve that?
I'm a huge emphasizer of anyone in the red door that's listening to this can back me up on that one.
Yeah.
Doing things you don't want to do, but doing it anyway. That's where belief comes from. You know, like
acts of compassion.
Like a fella you love, Chris Williamson.
Yeah.
Something he said to me stood out big time. He said, affirmations aren't made by shouting at yourself in the mirror. It's getting out and doing it.
Yeah.
That's when you back it up. Because you hear all this bullshit these days. Oh, you should tell yourself you're great. Look in the mirror and say, hoorah, I'm great, I'm this. Fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, go out and act on it. You feel, what's it? Do, be, have. Do it, become it, have it.
Do, be, have. I like that, man.
Do, be, have. Do it, become it, and have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how can I put it? Like, I can't look in the mirror and say, oh, like, imagine I didn't go to the gym as much as I know I can, or whatever. Eating healthy, all this shit. Like, even, how can I look in the mirror and say, oh, I'm great, I'm this, I'm hard work, if I wasn't? Can't do it.
You got to prove it.
You have to prove it to yourself.
Prove it to yourself, man. Prove it to yourself.
Yeah,
You've got to earn it in the process as well. And I think, you know, what you once had with the drug addiction and the coke, man, has been replaced by this healthy way of living where you're proving to yourself you actually love yourself instead of numbing the anxiety and the self-doubt and the lack of confidence that you had before, which is amazing to witness because you're the complete polar opposite. Like you, 360-degree turn on your entire life, man, and you're a different guy for now, and obviously you can talk about it because you went through it, and as you're explaining, man, it's very real experience.
I don't sugarcoat it, bud.
No, not at all, man, which I admire as well. Tell me about going cold turkey completely off the drugs. Like, I know obviously you said you finish with coke, you end up going on to kind of benzos, which are benzodiazepines are anti-anxiety medication. When did you go cold turkey off them? Or did you need help to go cold turkey off it? Or when did the help come in? Because I know you mentioned the Red Door there, which is a service that kind of helps people that are going through addiction.
Oh, yeah. Say, middle of August. End of June, actually. I decided I wanted to go into residential. I just said it. And then I was kind of thinking, and it was said to me and my mum as well, that, yeah. So it was said to me and my mum, maybe you should do residential. To me, not my mum. And she was there. She'll remember that. And then I kind of said, oh, yeah, I'll do it. But I never genuinely believed I was going to, you know, because I didn't think, well, I'm not using as much as I was, so I don't think I need it, you know. But so then you had to give urines to go into treatment. So I was trying to really cut down on my use. And then benzos were coming up in my piss. Or my urines. And so they kept coming. They said, we take you if you have anything else, but there's no detox in Ireland for benzos back then. I don't know about now, but especially where I was going. And Coomera and a toy, by the way. And so I wanted, towards the end, I did want to get in. I wanted a fresh start. I kind of half said it at the beginning, but by the end of July, I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I want a fresh start. I want to get away from it all. So eventually I came off the benzos and the tablets, but was still, like I said earlier, dabbling in coke. But so it took me 3 or 4 attempts to get in to Coomera. And then I actually don't, I think it was like the 17th of August where I had me last, that night I had me like epiphany with cocaine. Can't remember when I had me last tablet or smoke a joint, but I think it would have been coming up to, so I went into treatment on September 5th of 2022. September 2nd, I had my last, like, I had half a beer. And at that point even, half a bottle, I went, nah, don't want it.
Don't even need. Yeah.
This isn't for me anymore. Because I was kind of, my head in a weird way, I was going to say, what's the point going to treatment if I'm still doing this? And at that point, I was never, like, say if I was drinking or whatever, I never really had a huge problem with drink like that. I'd want it all the time, but when I did drink, that's when it was a problem. Like, that's the only time, but I never would have, like,
craved it.
Even to this day, like, I'm quite lucky in that sense that drinking to me doesn't appeal to me because it's boring to me without cocaine in my head.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't do it, because it's a gateway.
Such a high off the.
Yeah.
Off the
It's just it's associated. It's hand in hand with me, so I won't do it.
Yeah.
But so anyway, that's how I went into treatment in September 2022. Came out in January 2023, and have been on the straight now. Got a lot, and that was tough. 5 months, no phone, no newspaper, TV, nothing.
You were just in there the whole time.
Just in there.
And like, were you getting withdrawals at any
stage?
stage?
No, thank God. I'd say if I was in benzo addiction longer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was addicted to they were just like a reliance after the cocaine.
Okay.
And in between using cocaine.
And then how did you improve your mental state? Like, because obviously, I'm guessing when you came out January of 2023, is that what you said? How was your mental state going in compared to coming out?
Going in, Jesus Christ, man. Couldn't stop crying.
Yeah.
Like, in there.
Very emotional about your situation.
Took me about 2 weeks to get going.
Yeah.
But once I was in there, couldn't stop crying. Like, just crying about everything. Because obviously, when you're taking benzos and fucking coke and weed and whatever, or drinking, even though I wasn't big drink, but say I was still like dabbling in it.
Yeah.
Anything just not to be sober. So, but when you come off them, so say so I would have been easing myself off them at the end of August. Then, like I said, would have been stopped fully 2nd or 3rd September. And the 2nd, should I say. And then takes a few weeks for that to get out of your system still, for the brain to go back to normal. So next fall, it was just bang. All these emotions. Crying over, like, not seeing me daughter, like, the fear of never seeing me daughter again, because that's how I thought it was going. Because I thought I was a worthless piece of shit. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't deserve to have her back in my life. What the fuck, she'd be better off without me. So accepting that fact was very emotional. All the pain I put my mum through, very emotional. This point, me and me mate, give a shout out to Cashman, who you know yourself.
Yeah. Great
person, great guy. He we weren't talking. So I was thinking, I'd no job anymore either. I was saying, what am I going for? I fucking blew it. Because in hindsight's a beautiful thing. It's 2020. It's great looking back. I did have a good thing going. I had a good job. I had great people in my life. On paper, everything was great. Any nice thing I had, I paid for back then.
Yeah.
Legally, I worked fucking hard for it.
Yeah.
But all my savings and that, before all the addiction and all, so I never made a penny off drugs, like. You know what I mean? All that was hard earned. And gone. All relationships, my daughter, everything gone in my eyes. So that hit me like a fucking ton of bricks.
And did that change your whole way of thinking? You know, were you like, I have to get clean now?
Yeah, thank fuck, actually. Cause look,
so was that the biggest motivator for you?
That was huge. My daughter was the main motivator, man.
Okay.
That was the main one.
Yeah.
That was huge. Still is.
Yeah.
Like, right now, as you know, I'm going for the Defence Forces. It's going to be one of the toughest 12 weeks of my life. But imagine, I don't want to turn around to her in 12 weeks or when she's 15, 16. When you went to join the army? Yeah, I quit because it was hard. Sort of example to that. So that's why everything I do now, she's in the back of my mind. Like, even doing like reps, I'm like, one more for else. You know what I mean? It's
You're showing up as a better man in the world.
Yeah.
Which is a powerful place to be. And you have great evidence now to show you can conquer the most difficult of things in life, man. Because I can't imagine what it would have been like to get clean after 5 years, man. 5 years it's a good bit of time.
5 years in and out, like,
continuous drug use of all sorts to get yourself in a position now. And like I said before, you've done a 360 turn where you're going for the army now, which is incredible.
Yeah. Keep putting yourself through struggle to have a better life, like.
Yeah.
Now we talked about that off air, didn't we?
Yeah, we did indeed. But like the struggle that you went through is on another level altogether.
But it made me a better person. Because after I got out of addiction, it's weird. Where you asked me at the start of the podcast, we actually went off a bit. I went off on a tangent then. But you said, where did you get all this belief? And this might sound mad, because it might sound like I'm counteracting. Addiction was the best thing that ever happened to me in a weird way. Because I came out and now I know so much about myself.
Yeah.
I've learned so. I know I can get through tough times. And I know what kind of person I am now. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to go through hell.
Literally.
And come out the other side. You know what I mean? And now in a positive sense, I choose to go through, embark on struggle in a positive sense. Like,
you face it in a different way. You've got.
I'm always putting myself through some sort of struggle. Cold shower every morning, or an ice bath. I don't have ice baths in the summer. I have them in the winter.
Yeah.
They're harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So constantly putting myself through struggle. That's why I want to join the army. Imagine that satisfaction. Yeah, it's going to be extremely tough, but imagine that feeling when it's over.
That gratification you have for yourself.
Yeah, delayed gratification. It's the best feeling in the world.
Where before it would have been so instantaneous
I
for you.
wanted everything now.
Yeah.
Now. You know?
No, I know exactly what you mean.
And that's why I'm saying all these bad things that happen to me, because that's where it ends. That's where it goes.
Yeah.
Like, you lose so much and there's nothing to be gained. Nothing. I hear it all the time. It actually hurts me, saying, because I was like, oh, I feel that. I hear it all the time. Oh, I had to have a drink last night. Like, people that are struggling, obviously. I had to have a drink. I had to have a drug last night. I was fighting with the partner. I was fighting. If you're looking for reasons, because life, when you get into recovery, life's still going to throw you curveballs. You're still going to have shit times. But you know what? I absolutely, this might sound mad, in a sick way, I kind of love the dark days, the shit times, rough days, because now I know, because it passes, and next fall, so say you're feeling shit on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, them 4 days are awful. Come Saturday, you're having a great day, and you're like, I got through that.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And you appreciate it then. I'm having a good day today, appreciate it.
And do you think your appreciation for life now, for your family, for your daughter, is much greater? Like, you just didn't have that before. No sense of gratitude or even awareness to be grateful either.
Gratitude, man, yeah.
Gratitude's powerful.
Never brought that up. Yeah, that's
Is that something you learned about in recovery?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Grateful for. Like, I had to catch myself on the way down here. See, old habits die hard. It's not the same.
Yeah.
I was parked at the garage, lovely car there. I was thinking, fuck's sake, look what they have. Now you have to catch it. I have to catch myself saying, what? Like, we were talking about the Porsche outside. One day.
Yeah, one day.
Not yet.
Well, that's a better approach.
So that's what you tell me. If I work really hard, who knows where
you can go, man.
Yeah. If I don't get tough shit, I had a good life anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know that saying, comparison is the thief of all joy. When you're comparing yourself to other people or what they have over what you don't have, you'll feel a lack of.
Yeah.
Where you can also look at it going, if I work hard enough, why can't I have it?
Yeah.
Just instead of, because
in a healthy sense. Healthy competition, like.
Exactly, because like envy can go in two directions. You could use envy in a motivational sense, going, I could have that if I work hard enough, or you could envy in self-pity. You go, I don't have that, I'll feel worse about myself. Which one do you want to decide on doing? You'd be better off motivating yourself to get your shit together and get going after it.
Yeah.
Which
instead of being jealous,
exactly.
Jealous, yeah.
Man, a fascinating story. I think it's just so interesting how you went through it. And was there any other kind of insights you had coming out of recovery, or anything during that stage of recovery that you had?
At the beginning?
Or just even during it? Beginning, during it. Like, how did you mold yourself into the person that you are now? I'm sure obviously recovery greatly helped that. But was there any practices you'd done in recovery or anything else? Yeah. Because you touched on boxing.
Boxing was another one.
Yeah.
Because the fucking belief that gave me, that got me back in, because I was going into treatment, I was 18 stone at my heaviest. Pure, like pure heavy. All my clothes didn't fit me anymore. Yeah. Out of breath walking upstairs, shit like that, because I was eating my feelings. You might say, well, you were cocaine, how'd you fucking weigh? Because when I wasn't taking coke, I was eating and taking tablets which bloat you. Yeah. And smoking weed and getting the munchies. So I was like Michelin Man in a way.
Oh yeah.
And that was never me.
Yeah.
So but then coming out of treatment, getting into exercise and getting that natural high, and next of all you're looking in the mirror, clothes are starting to get looser and the arms are getting tighter, and having boxing where you're in the ring with, like, I never thought I'd see myself in the ring, man, and hold me on, because I keep telling myself I got through tough times. This is nothing. You know, this is nothing.
Because your level of struggle would be much higher.
Yeah.
To a whole different degree.
So I said, I'll keep putting myself through struggle. So, like, because boxing's like the hardest sport to learn. There's the science behind it. I feel it's so skillful, like.
Yeah.
So instead, I used to always tell myself, I'll make myself good enough. I'm not very good right now. Probably never was, but I'll make myself good enough. You know, it turned out I was all right, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Still am.
And I think that's a great example, man. Like, great point you touched on. You know, what our brains seek more than anything is that dopamine. So you're getting it from the coke initially. You're getting that instantaneous high. Now you've replaced it with the boxing. You're getting into your body, out of your mind. You're getting better at something. You're probably in a sense of community. Like, all these things add up.
Yeah.
And when I was looking into addictions, man, because I find it fascinating. Obviously, I've worked in it just as a nurse and seen many people go through it. And like you said, it does often generate from a place of trauma. There's a famous study done. It's called Rat Park. It's called Rat Park. It's by this psychologist. Have you heard of it before?
No.
No. It's very interesting, right? Is this psychologist, I think his name was Bruce Alexander, and it was done in the 1950s, right? So they've got like Section A and Section B, right? So in Section A, they put all the rats in there, but they're all isolated. And they have 2 drips in there, one with water and one with morphine. Morphine being a painkiller.
Yeah.
Do you know morphine?
Yeah.
You know morphine, right?
I know morphine.
Yeah, right. So that's experiment A is isolated rats in solitary confinement, all alone by themselves.
See where this is going, yeah.
Yeah. And then B, the example B, the experiment B was Rat Park. Much wider area. They can go around, they can play. There's other rats in there, they can socialize. They also got the water on the drip, and they also got the morphine, right? So they run this experiment, and the rats that are in this, they're in like a tiny, it's called a Skinner box, a very small box, no real room to move. You can't move around. They're by themselves, they're isolated. For 56 days, the rats get addicted to the morphine. They keep going to the morphine to try and, fulfill themselves with something or look for a high. They're continuously looking for that high. And in the experiment, they wanted the rats to become completely addicted to the morphine. And after 56 days, they took the rats out and put them into the Rat Park. And what happened, man, is fascinating, right? The rats that were addicted supposedly for life went into the Rat Park. They started to socialize. They started to move around. They started to play. They had more room to move. The rats that were addicted went into voluntary withdrawals. They decided themselves to, instead of going for the morphine the whole time, they decided to choose the water because they had that social isolation.
Connection.
They had that connection. They had that environment. So my belief and the belief of this conclusion from this experiment is that addiction is very closely linked to isolation. When you feel isolated as a human, you will seek it in other forms, in addictive qualities. And this experiment, obviously, when the rats were alone by themselves, small environment, morphine, 56 days, they get transferred into Rat Park. They're having the crack, man. They're moving around. They're having fun. Social integration, social connection. This ability to have this sense of community and to integrate and to play and to be with other rats was so exceptional that they decided themselves, no more morphine. It wasn't worth it for them because they had everything they needed. And the point being with that experiment is like isolation, not having purpose, not having social connection, all these things will lead down a path of addiction, will lead down a path of potentially trauma at some stage in your life.
It doesn't even have to be drug addiction. It can be anything.
It can be, not just drugs. It could be pornography.
Yeah, that's a
it could be
huge problem
gambling
in life.
It could be alcohol. All these vices, and this is why before we got going on air, I was like, vices and virtues. I love this kind of. I came across it through Stoicism, but all vices are kind of like undesirable habits. So, like, how easy is it to go and drink alcohol? How easy is it to go and take drugs? How easy is it to take days off where you do nothing? You don't go to the gym. You sit at home in front of the TV. These are all vices. No one admires these habits.
No.
But virtue is being disciplined, having self-control. Being compassionate to other people, having wisdom, developing your mind, being open-minded, new information. We admire people, and we especially admire growth mindset. Yeah, we admire men. We touched on David Goggins. Williamson's been mentioned already. We admire men that are doing this, and I just think if we just to ram that message home is like we always have a choice, vice and virtue, and if you can look at them going, will this make me more desirable or less desirable? Which one should I choose? Because as a man, when we want to develop ourselves, we want to be respected, we want to be admired by everyone around us. We always have a choice.
Yeah.
We always have a choice. Tell me though, in regards to that Rat Park experiment, I think it's a great name for it as well.
Yeah, Rat Park. Yeah.
Rat Park. How do you view it? When you think of kind of that experiment with the A example where the isolation is there, and then the B example where he's integrating with other rats, do you see yourself in that where you once were? In regards to, did you feel isolated? Did you feel alone? Did you feel a lack of purpose in life?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, on paper I wasn't isolated.
Yeah,
but
did you feel connected to people though?
Yeah, well, like me and yourself years ago when I felt I always had.
Sorry, I meant like when you were going through it.
Oh no, sure, that connection's gone.
Yeah,
like we talked about off air. There's not enough of like. Especially lads like talking. No talking, like, you know what I mean? So
like deep conversation.
Yeah, deep conversation, yes. There's none of that. There's people out there right now, probably outside this room, that don't know what's wrong with them. And a lot of people live their whole life like that because no one talks. You know what I mean? So no wonder there's a huge problem with drugs at the minute. Like cocaine is, people as young as 14 taking it at the minute. See, in the addiction service, we talk about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, if you don't talk, you're just bottling that up. What happens then? You start feeling angry. You start feeling resentful. And that's what happened to me. And I just ended up, how can I numb this feeling of sadness, isolation, not feeling worthy, no purpose. Hopeless. Yeah. Lost. What would make this better? Drugs. First I tried cars, clothes, women, holidays. That didn't work. Money didn't work. So.
But you got that dopamine hit off.
Yeah. So on to plan B then. Yeah. And then plan B became plan A for 5 years. And for the first 2 years of my using, no one knew.
No one knew you were doing?
No one knew.
Okay.
So a lot of people probably listening now are probably saying 2017, holy shit.
Yeah.
So no one knew. It started coming out a bit in like 2018, I think. Did
you have to open up about it, or what happened?
No. God, no, I never talked about it up until 2022, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, I did counselling all in 2021 to keep people off me back, and the counsellor at the time said, I think you have a drug problem. Never went back. I said, fucking cheek of her. That's how in denial I was, bud. While I was in there after just necking a bottle of whiskey and taking bumps out in the car.
Oh my God.
Well, I was dropped to it, by the way.
Yeah.
I actually didn't drive to that one.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
The time before.
But you just have to put. So say how to get out of it is just know you're better than that. Like, and look, is it making your life any better? No, it might numb the pain for a few hours, but you're going nowhere.
Yeah, and I like what you said at the beginning of the podcast, man. Everyone's got this, potential, this human growth that you could possibly have. Channel that into. It's very difficult though, because I think when you're going through it, must be.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. But
what advice would you have then for someone that's going through it right now, that's in addiction, that feel like they can't get out of it, that were where you once were? What would you say is the first step to take in regards to getting themselves right?
Well, we always say ask for help.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
And that's something you struggled with before.
Everyone in addiction does at some point. Just ask for help. A huge emphasis on treatments, because it's like you're put into. It's like you're taking out the outside world, reset button.
Yeah. You
come out, you get an understanding, a huge understanding of addiction and recovery and coping mechanisms and everything, and then you come back out. It's daunting as fuck leaving treatment, I won't lie.
Yeah. How did you adapt to it?
Oh, the Red Door project.
So you went straight there.
After like a week or two, I had serious like mental health problems when I got out of treatment. Like still lost, still finding it very hard to function everyday life without a drug. But I just said, well, I'll get through this.
Yeah,
I know I can. Not for a second in my mind did I say I'd love to go and use now, because I know where you just have to remember where it takes you. Just remember. I tell everyone. I was only talking to a guy last night who was talking to me about struggles.
Yeah.
And I said, how would you feel if you had a son or daughter? Would you want them doing what you're doing? No, of course not. Have that same compassion for yourself. Have some compassion. Love
yourself.
When you're in addiction, you don't. But have some sort of compassion for yourself. You don't be doing something you wouldn't want your son, daughter, or friend, or partner doing. Have that love for yourself, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there is a way back. I'd like to think I'm living proof. I know a lot, like every story, a lot of people have it worse, and but the story's still the same. The behaviours are still the same. Where it goes is the same with everyone. And name one addict where it's ended well. The only place you're going, or two places, if you're lucky, you go to jail.
Yeah.
If you're unlucky, you're 6 feet under, like, and that's the only place. So now, like, we all lost a very good guy in the Red Door through addiction. Like, that was a huge wake up call for a few people. Like,
but this is while you were going through recovery.
This was only this summer.
Oh yeah.
So that was through addiction. Like, living proof once again that's what happens, you know. And just ask for help, and anyone can do it. Anyone can. If I can, you know what I mean. Anyone can. You know what I mean?
And did you find that mental strength then through reframing it, like, you know, thinking about your daughter the whole time? Was that's the instigator for you that got you to develop this mental strength, and then obviously from there you developed compassion for yourself?
Well, I just said, how can I be like you touched on, a man, basically? How can I be a better man and be a better father and actually be of some value? Do you want, like I said before the podcast, do you want to be incompetent and useless, or do you want to be a strong fucking, be useful? You're dead right. Useful in the world.
That's exactly what men need.
So how do you get that? You have to put yourself through some struggle. Like, put yourself through it.
Yeah.
Like, so going to the gym. If you hate doing things, just do it. But educate yourself, and it's just.
I think you make a great point there. You feel empowered when you've got purpose.
Yeah, it's hard to get it out. You know, because the passion.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
The passion. Yeah. But you're dead right, though. I think men need a purpose in life. They have to find a purpose. If you don't know your purpose, you've got to find your purpose. I think you found your purpose in your daughter, and then you channel your energy. Because I remember listening to the podcast, keep referencing it, but you're like painting gates. So then you're channeling your time into things. Then you're, you know, working on your body and your mind by being in the boxing gym. You're putting yourself through this struggle, which is honing you. It's developing you as a man. You're shaping your character now, and you're down a different journey completely. And then you're looking after your health, and you're developing this compassion.
Yeah.
You know, it would be crazy to say, but like, if you maybe had that compassion for yourself at the beginning before the addiction ever happened, maybe you wouldn't have gone down this path. That's not. Look, that's.
I never would have got to where I am now.
No, exactly.
Because I would never learned.
Exactly.
Never. I'd still be out there trying to fucking buy a Range Rover Sport or something to make me feel better, like, or a new pair of Air Max or something. You know what I mean? Materialistic things mean fuck all. Yeah. Really, like,
you can't bring them. Like, if you die with them, where do they go? They live here.
Exactly.
But that's not to say that you can't have nice things.
Always Jesus Christ! I still want nice things. Yeah. Whoa, but it's just you just have to keep stimulating the mind and putting yourself through struggle. Like, struggle's the big word here.
It is.
Because, like, say you mentioned boxing there, I've kind of took a step back from there because of the army coming up and things. But I just said, what can I do now without boxing? So I said, sure, we get into a bit of bodybuilding here.
Yeah, good man.
Try something. So I'm always. It's 6 months ago. If you said that to me, I always said, I couldn't be a body. Well, just throw yourself in.
Yeah. Like,
it was even uncomfortable coming here today to do the podcast, because still that doubt kicks in. Who's going to listen to this? Who wants to listen to me? But
how do you overcome that doubt now when it pops up? Is it through action?
Through action. Okay. And you fight that thought.
Yeah.
Keep saying, well, I think of a good story, or even if it helps one person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have a great story, man. I wouldn't have had you on if it was any other way.
Yeah. But thanks. But just compassion's the big one, James.
Yeah.
You have to have some sort. And I know when you're stuck in addiction, but it's either you fucking want to give up or you don't. And if you don't, that's okay. But you have to want it and stop. I did it, and everyone in addiction does it.